Hey, sports card fans, it's John, Wade Boggs fan. Hope you're all doing well. For about a year now, I have been doing a series of monthly videos highlighting the top PSA vintage baseball card sales on eBay. And that's been fun. I've really enjoyed checking in and looking at the data to see what cards have sold for the most in any given month. But I wanted to do something a little bit more, something a little bit different. In addition to, I'll still be doing those monthly top 10 videos. And I had something swirling around in my mind for a while now, but it wasn't until I watched Mike Baseball Collector on one of his most recent podcasts / videos, the Golden Age of Cardboard, in which he did a video for our vintage cards recession proof. And he took a deep dive into a couple cards and looked at historical sales data and so on, and made some good points to see what the data showed and so on. And in that video, he thought it would be a cool or a neat idea for someone to come up with an index. Now he said, 100, 200, 500 cards in this vintage index of popular cards or whatever, and be able to track that data over a multitude of cards over time to see either what individual cards have changed in value or the index as a whole has changed in value over time. So I thought, yeah, that's something I can do. I love numbers. I love crunching numbers, spreadsheets, all that stuff. So I decided to put together a vintage 100 index, in which every month I'm going to be tracking the prices of these 100 cards that I have selected. Would be able to show how that index of 100 cards has changed over time, similar to the stock market. You have the Dow Jones, you have the Nasdaq. They're made up of only a certain number of stocks, and it's the average of those prices of those stocks over time. And so I'm going to do something very similar here with vintage cards. So on a monthly basis, show you where that index is, maybe show you the top 10 cards that have increased on a monthly basis or year to year or year to date basis, and maybe the lowest 10 performing cards in that index, again, month to month, year to date type thing. As it develops, I may have more data and stuff like that to compile, but once I have the data, there's a lot of stuff I can potentially do with it. So with that said, in trying to come up with this vintage 100 index, I had some questions. Basically, where to start? Okay, what 100 cards, what players to include in the 100 index? So what I thought I'd do, again, I'm looking at cards from 1948 to 1980. So 48 to 80. And I decided to only focus on Bowman and tops. So I'm not looking at the 48/49 Leaf cards or any other cards besides starting with the 48 Bowman. All right. So with that said, what first set of players do I want? Well, I thought what was easiest is to look at all the Hall of Famers who have a rookie card or a first card. There may have been players that started off before 1948, but their first main card was, say, a 1948 Bowman. So that got me pretty well down on the list of 100, but I still think it left me with about maybe 20 more cards to pick to get to 100. So then I decided to take a look at, and again, rookie cards, figuring rookie cards are in most cases the most popular card of that particular player. Everyone wants their first card. The player may also have some other popular cards, but again, to try to be uniform, I decided to go with the rookie card. So beyond the Hall of Famers, there are some players that are borderline Hall of Famers that a lot of people say, man, can't believe he isn't in the Hall of Fame. He should be in the Hall of Fame. And so I took a look at another group of players Notable players, borderline Hall of Famers. Some of them include Pete Rose, Dwight Evans, Thurman Munson, Dick Allen, Dave Parker. Now, a couple of those. But that still left me a few cards short of 100. So the next tier or level of cards I looked at were key popular cards, maybe second year cards of certain players, ones that are, I don't want to use the word iconic, but very popular within the hobby, but may not be the player's rookie card. The other thing I wanted to avoid is having too many cards of a particular player. So within the 100 card index, each player has no more than 2 cards. So again, trying to spread it out through a diversity of players and not have any concentration on any one particular player. I could have filled this list with 10, 15, 20 Mickey Mantle and Hank Aaron cards. But again, that would be overweighing things to those particular players and leaving out some other players as well. I wanted a broad spectrum of the vintage card market. All right. The other question I had was, obviously I wanted to go with graded. Now, regardless of whether you like grading cards or not, in terms of the data collection and what I'm looking at here, looking at graded cards has the more precise data because I can go and find data for a particular grade, 5, 6, 4, you name it, and be able to track that consistently, those sales prices for a particular grade. So what grading company did I decide to go with? I decided to go with PSA. Say what you will about PSA, SGC, you like the Tuxedo or Beckett Vintage or some of the newer ones that are out there. Truth be told, right now, there's more sales of PSA vintage cards. They tend to sell, I think, for a little bit more, gives a little bit more stability in the data that I'm looking for. So I decided to go with PSA. The other question I had was what grade to use for a particular card. And so I decided to go with the quote-unquote collector grade. So the cards that you see that make up this Vintage 100 index are the collector grade. So if it's a 1940s card, I'll be looking at a PSA 4 copy of that. If it's a 1950s card, PSA 5, 60s, 6, 70s, 7, and 80s from 1980 would be a PSA 8 version of that card. So again, I'm not looking for big hitters, heavy hitters. I'm not looking for 9s and 10s. Just wanted to keep something average that I think a good number of sales at that particular grade go for. So again, chose the collector grade. And finally, what source of pricing data was I going to use? Where was I going to get the data from? And in previous videos, I had mentioned that for my 100 cards for $100,000, I was using PSA's data from their website. They said they have everything, current up-to-date auction prices. Well, I found out that that may not be so true, that they may be lagging a little bit in populating their database. One case in point was a 1951 Bowman Warren Spawn that I was looking at, and in their system, I think they've missed the last 3 or 4 eBay sales that are not in their system, which skewed what I was looking for to buy that card for. But anyway, I decided to go directly to the source. I'm going to go to eBay and just use eBay sales. Now, within eBay sales, though, it's one thing to just do a search for a card, find the sold listings, and see what the prices are. One potential snag in that is that if a card is listed as buy it now or best offer, and the seller accepts a best offer, the eBay listing will just show the buy it now price with a line through it to say that, hey, it's sold for a best offer, but you don't know what that best offer may be. eBay has a website, I think it's for sellers, so I'm not sure if you have to have a special account or have to have been able to have sold something on eBay before. I'm not sure, I don't think there's a username or login, but it's called Terapeak. And what that does is it has a more, I think, comprehensive list of sales data on eBay. And I believe that if a card has a buy it now or best offer and the seller sells it for the best offer, it shows what that best offer is. And I believe it also only counts the transactions that have gone through or been processed or been paid for. So I don't think it includes ones where someone puts in an offer and they win it and say and they back out, oh sorry, I didn't mean to bid on this or whatever, and they back out. I think it's completed listings that are part of that database. Again, it may not be 100% perfect, but that's the avenue that I've chosen. I have yet to subscribe to vintage card prices. Not sure if I ever will, but I figure right now this is a free service to look up sold prices. I think it's fairly accurate, or at least if I use this over the time and be consistent, I think it serves the same purpose. So with that said, let's get into the 100 cards that I have selected for the Vintage 100 Index. Now, before I get to the list, I would like your comments and feedback on the cards that I have chosen. Are there some cards that I have clearly missed that you think, John, how can you not have this card in the index? Now, I can tell you that the 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle is not in my 100 index. Reason being is that would be graded, I'd be checking the price on a PSA 5 copy. Because the 52 Topps Mickey Mantle, one, because of the price, two, because of the potential swings that one card may have at a PSA 5 level. We could be talking about going up or down $10,000, $20,000 in possibly a short period of time. That could skew, because it's such a large card, it could skew the impact of the other cards in the index. So I did not include the 52 Topps Mickey Mantle. I also didn't include the 52 Topps Willie Mays because I have the 51 Bowman Mantle and 51 Bowman Mays rookie cards in the list. So again, if there is a card or cards that you think, hey John, why do you have this in the list? Or you clearly missed this one, I'll take a look at your comments, see maybe if I can make some small adjustments. But again, primarily, I want to keep the Hall of Fame rookie cards in there. Maybe I can have some adjustments to the non-Hall of Famers, maybe some of the key cards. There's one card in there that is maybe a favorite of mine that I included in the list, but then again, I'm doing all this work to put the list together, so I figured maybe I get one pass on one card that I would want included in the index. So let's get to the list now here. I just did this chronological, and again, for the 1940s, we'd be looking at a PSA 4 version, so I didn't put the PSA grade in this list here. We're starting off with the 48 Bowman Yogi Berra, also the Bob Feller, and again, I know you're going to say, John, Bob Feller had some cards pre-1948. I understand that, but I wanted to include Bob Feller in the list, and his first post-war card from either Bowman or Topps was the 1948 Bowman, so I included that. We have the 48 Bowman Ralph Kiner, 48 Bowman Stan Musial, the Phil Rizzuto, the Red Schoendienst, the Enos Slaughter, and the Warren Spahn. Moving on to 1949, we have the Richie Ashburn, the Rory Campanella, the Larry Doby, Gil Hodges, Bob Lemon, Satchel Paige, Pee Wee Reese, and Robin Roberts, and the Jackie Robinson, and Duke Snider, lot in 49 Bowman, and Early Win. Can't forget Early Win. So, moving on to 1950 Bowman, we have Don Newcomb and Ted Williams. Now, there may be a case for other Ted Williams cards, and I'll come to that in a little bit here, but didn't get into any of his tops. Went with his first Bowman card, 1950 Bowman. 51 Bowman, we have the Whitey Ford, Nellie Fox, Monty Irvin, Mickey Mantle, and Willie Mays rookies. In 52, I only chose 3 that had the rookie cards: Eddie Matthews, Minnie Minoso, and Hoyt Wilhelm. Now, the Eddie Matthews is the highest valued, priced rookie card, I think, from Topps. I think in Mike's video, or maybe it was in a later video he did of the top 20 Topps rookie cards or whatever, Eddie Matthews was ranked number 1, and I think in a PSA 5 it's up around 15,000. So that one there may have some impact on the movement of the overall index, but so may be the 51 Bowman Mantle rookie and the 51 Mays rookie. So again, tried not to have too many cards that would skew the index from one month to another. But then again, I wanted to use Hall of Fame rookie cards, and it just happens to be the 52 Topps Eddie Matthews for Eddie Matthews. So again, 52 Topps. We also have the Mini Minoso and the Hoyt Wilhelm. Here's the first card on the list that I considered one of those key cards, iconic cards in the hobby, the 1953 Bowman Pee Wee Reese. I think if you ask most vintage collectors, that's one card that they would love to have in their collection if they don't already have one. I know I would, and I don't have one in my collection yet. So I decided to include the 53 Bowman Pee Wee Reese. Also looking at the 54 Bowman Ted Williams. Now this was my sort of personal pick. I love that card. This is a short print because Bowman did not have the rights to Ted Williams in 1954. Topps did, so they had to stop the production of that card halfway. I think Jimmy Purcell became card number 66, and he's actually also in the set under another number. So I believe Jimmy Purcell has 2 numbered versions, and one of them is card number, I want to say 66. But I wanted to throw in the 1954 Bowman Ted Williams, sort of my little pick there, personal pick in the Vintage 100 Index. Moving on to 1954 Topps, of course, we have the Hank Aaron, Ernie Banks, and Al Kaline rookies. 1955, we have Roberto Clemente, Harmon Killebrew, Sandy Koufax. In 56, the Topps Luis Aparicio rookie, and I added as a key card for Mickey Mantle, his 1956 Topps Mickey Mantle. I may personally have another couple other more favorite ones, but I know in the hobby, his 1956 Topps is extremely popular, so I thought I would add that to the list. All right, continuing on for 1957, we have Jim Bunning, Don Drysdale, Bill Mazeroski, Brooks, and Frank Robinson. 1958, we have Orlando Cepeda, Roger Maris. I thought I'd throw him in there. I know a lot of people say he's definitely not a Hall of Famer, but I think a lot of people still have interest in his rookie card, and you can't deny the impact in the hobby back in 1961 in breaking Babe Ruth's home run record, single season. Moving on to 1959, we have the Bob Gibson. 1960, we have Jim Kaat, Willie McCovey, and Corey Yastrzemski. Moving on to 1961, I chose Juan Marichal rookie card, Ron Santo, Billy Williams. 1962, we have Lou Brock and Gaylord Perry. 63, we have Tony Oliva. I added the 63 Pete Rose rookie and the 63 Willie Stargell. In 1964, we have the Dick Allen, which again, non-Hall of Famer, but a lot of people think he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, so I included him in this list. The 64 Topps Phil Niekro. And I added the 64 Topps Pete Rose. I think a lot of people, me included, find his second year 1964 Topps card to be his most desirable card above his rookie card and those 4 floating heads. So I decided to add the 64 Topps Pete Rose to the index. In 1965, we have Steve Carlton, Catfish Hunter, Joe Morgan. 1966, we have Fergie Jenkins, Jim Palmer, Tony Perez, and Don Sutton. In 1967, we have the Rod Carew and Tom Seaver rookie cards. 68, we have Johnny Bench and Nolan Ryan rookie cards. I also decided to add Tom Seaver's second card, his 1968 Topps, because again, his rookie card is a multiplayer card. I think a lot of people like that Rookie Cup 1968 Topps card of Tom Seaver, so I added him to the list. We have the 69 Raleigh Fingers, 69 Reggie Jackson rookie card, and I added a second Nolan Ryan, his first solo card, his 1969 Topps. Again, I think that has a rookie cup on it as well, I think. But regardless, it's his first solo card beyond his multi-card rookie card in 68. Turning to the 70s now, chose the 1970 Topps Thurman Munson. We have the 71 Topps Burt Blyleven. I added a second Thurman Munson, his 71 Topps iconic card. That's just, again, a lot of people love that 71 Topps, me included, of Thurman Munson. So here you are, a non-Hall of Famer, and I have two of his cards in the list. That's just how I came up with the list up to this point. So keeping with 1971, we have the Ted Simmons rookie. In 72, Carlton Fisk. 73, the non-Hall of Famer, but one who I believe should be in the Hall of Fame, the Dwight Evans rookie. 73 also, we have the Rich Gossage, Goose Gossage rookie, and the Mike Schmidt rookie. I added the 74 Dave Parker, Dave Winfield. In 75, George Brett, Gary Carter, Jim Rice, Robin Yount. Then wrapping things up for the last 10 here of the Vintage 100 index cards that I have chosen. The 76, Dennis Eckersley. 77, Andre Dawson. I added Dale Murphy for all of you Atlanta fans out there who I know are pushing for Dale Murphy to be entered into the Hall of Fame. I added Dale Murphy for you guys. 77, Bruce Sutter. The 78, technically it is one card, but it has two Hall of Famers, Paul Molitor and Alan Trammell on one card. Then you also have the 78 Topps Jack Morris, Eddie Murray, and I added the Lou Whitaker rookie in there. In 79, we have the Ozzie Smith. And rounding out the Vintage 100 Index set of cards is the 1980 Topps Rickey Henderson. So, like I said, this is the list that I've initially put together. I'm probably not going to do the first official Vintage 100 Index video until June to give me some time to start compiling the data, because what I want to do is start the index backdating it, starting it in January of 2022. So I have 100 cards to look up prices for, say, the last 5 months. So a lot of data entry, a lot of data lookup. So I probably won't be getting my first video out until sometime in June. But again, would like your feedback, like your comments on, one, is this a good idea? Is this something you'd be interested in watching? Two, have I made a grave mistake and missed a key rookie card or something from the list? Do you think there are a couple cards that shouldn't be in the list and you have some replacements? Again, I'll consider your ideas. But at the end of the day, I may stick with these 100. I may make a couple, maybe one or two slight changes if I feel it's warranted. But would still like your feedback. Yeah, I guess that's it. So that's the introduction to the Vintage 100 Index videos that I hope to be doing in the future. That's all I have for you. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.